450 soldiers from 4 Rifles forming up on the parade square today in readiness for the Duchess of Cornwall to come and inspect their ranks. The men are recently back from an operational tour in Iraq, where they've been training Iraqi forces to take on Islamic State. It's not the first time the battalion has spent on operations in Iraq.
We were predominantly down in Basra last time, and this time up towards Baghdad, just to the west, in the Al-Anbar province of Iraq.
Did anything about it feel familiar?
A lot felt familiar, actually, with the Iraqis. They're a great bunch, they're great fun, and I don't envy them with the tourist challenge they have facing there in the offensives against ISIS. But they're a great audience, great training audience, really willing to learn and to get the job done.
4 Rifles were charged with training the Iraqi army, the country's air force and the border guard police.
It's just a bit of an honour, really, to sort of down the line to hopefully that they're in a position to stand on their own 2 feet and take the fight back to ISIS, and to be a part of that, to allow them to sustain themselves in that way is good.
Throughout this challenging 6-month deployment, the Duchess of Cornwall has offered support to all those in theatre and at home. The Duchess of Cornwall has been the Royal Colonel for the battalion for the last 10 years. She came to visit the families while the troops were deployed on operations, and now she's here for the soldiers' homecoming parade on this rainy Monday to welcome them back after a busy tour. Today's homecoming parade was a welcome opportunity for the battalion to celebrate a successful tour and bask in a bit of royal approval, even if the weather proved a little soggy.
Having Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall here is a huge privilege. It really does mark the end of this 6-month deployment. She's always a joy to have here. Really enjoys getting stuck in with the riflemen and chatting to everyone. It's great fun.
The Duchess takes her role with the battalion seriously and took time throughout the tour to visit the families and rear party while the soldiers were away.
She came to see us, and we went to the Sergeant's Mess back in November, and it was a nice little day out, wasn't it? And then she came and she spoke to everybody, which was really kind, actually, because it's nice for the kids, and she spends a long time talking to you as well, so it's really thoughtful and it's quite touching, actually.
During their time in Iraq, 4 Rifles stayed behind the wire, but for the families it was still an anxious wait for loved ones to come home safely.
I was out there for 4 months, did a really good job out there, I actually enjoyed it, but it's always good to come home, especially when I've got the little one. Always excited when I get home. Aren't you, darling?
In a rousing speech on the parade square, the Duchess hailed the skill and spirit of the 4th Battalion. Now they can settle back into family life in readiness for the next deployment. Rosie Layden, Forces News, Aldershot.